Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a very anticipated video both for myself and for you guys, I believe, because this is going to be my top 10 Clionadh eyeshadows. If you don't know, I own every single Clionadh stained glass collection eyeshadow. So first of all, it's been very hard to choose a favorite because I have so many. Also, they're all stunning and I can't say for sure this is going to be my top 10 forever. It's just literally when I go through my palettes, these were the ones that stuck out as my favorites, but these are kind of like the shades that I reach for the most at the moment, and currently I'm into more kind of toned down makeup, not maybe the most colorful, so you know, it might change. In summer, for example, I might do an updated one of these where I pick more kind of summer shades, more kind of I guess colorful shades, because I feel like that's when I reach for colorful shades more. But for now, these are the 10 that I have picked. So little sneak peek right here, these are the 10 shadows right there. So I'm going to go through all of them with you, swatch them out and show you my favorites. But before I jump into those, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So the first shadow that we have to talk about is one that was an initial favorite. This was one of my first order from Clionadh and I have loved it ever since. And that is this shade right here called Vermillion. This is one of their deep iridescent shades and it's a super shifty eyeshadow. It goes from like a bright kind of fuchsia pink, no, maybe not fuchsia, but bright pink straight on. It goes from that pink into a gold, into like a green, into like a really foresty green, so like a lime green into foresty green, and it's such a shifty eyeshadow. It's very smooth looking on the lid and I really like this one because it's very kind of toned down but super shifty at the same time. Even though this is quite a colorful shade, it is very wearable for me anyway, and I love wearing this one. We use like a simple matte crease and this one all over my lid, and you can see I have a little bit of a dip in it already. I really love this eyeshadow a lot. So it's definitely one that I had to pick out for my top 10. Next up, we have one that comes from the Glitter Multichrome range, and that is this shadow right here called Opulent. This is the penultimate neutral kind of shadow. I really love this one. It is kind of like a really interesting one because it looks very cool toned and warm toned at the same time. The base is kind of like a cool toned, silvery, purpley, gray kind of shade, but it's not grey, it's just such a unique undertone. And then throughout it, it has gold sparkles that goes into kind of more cool toned blue to almost purple sparkles too. And because it has that both that warm shift and that cool shift with that cooler base, it works really well with both, like I said, warm tone shadows and cool tone shadows. And it's such a unique one. I haven't seen anything like this one. It is a beautiful eyeshadow and I really love this one a lot. If you are into neutrals, I would 100% recommend this one. It is one of my absolute favorites from Clionadh. Sticking with the neutrals, we have another one of the Glitter Multichromes, and this one here is the shade Foiling. This one looks like this. It is a beautiful kind of gold shadow. This one is one of the most sparkly shades that I have from Clionadh. It's so pretty. It is more of a kind of bronzy, neutral toned gold. It has that kind of straight on bronzy shade, but then it goes into more of a green shift, into like a blue shift, and it's a super stunning eyeshadow. I really love this one. Again, it's very sparkly, very effectful, and if you are into like golds but not like necessarily green golds, this is a really good option because it is more kind of a neutral gold, especially compared to the next shade, which I will show you in a second. But yeah, that is the shade Foiling. So next up, and lastly for the Glitter Multichromes, we have this shade right here called Corrosion. So this is definitely more of a green gold kind of shade. You can see right there that it's more of a vibrant kind of gold. It does definitely have those like yellow and green undertones. This is a really unique one though, because straight on it has that kind of green gold effect. It does have a brown base, but then it goes into this really like unique cool tone shift. It has like a almost turquoise into purple to blue shift, and it's such a unique one because of that shift, because it does have that really strong warm tone gold straight on, but because it does shift a little bit more cool toned, I just found this one so unique. And also I absolutely adore these type of shades. I love these kind of green gold eyeshadows, so of course I had to include this one. I was debating a long time between this one and the shade Chalice from the hybrid multichrome range because I kind of love them equally, but they're too similar to have both of them in here. But I picked this one because it has that really unique shift to it, so that is the shade Corrosion. The next eyeshadow that I have is one of their newest launches, and that is from the Jewel Lights range. And this is the shade Burnish Light, which looks like this. This is such a unique eyeshadow. I really love this one. To be fair, I love the Jewel Lights collection. I just feel like they're super shifty without that black base, and they're super wearable. And this is definitely one of the more kind of colorful out of my list. But it does have that kind of more neutral orange shift straight on, but it does have a really strong green to kind of blue shift as well. It also has like almost like a little bit of red to it in the shift straight on. It does have that orange, but it's almost like a little bit red too. It is just such a unique eyeshadow, such a shifty eyeshadow, and even though it has so many colors in it, I feel like it is more wearable because it has more kind of earthy tones to it. It has those like oranges, those greens, and I absolutely adore this eyeshadow. It's such a pretty one, and I can't wait to continue playing with this one because again, it's relatively new in my collection, but I've been loving it since I got it. The next eyeshadow that I have comes from the Vibrant Multichrome lines, and I have two to share from this line. The first one is this one here, which is another classic, and this is the shade Bloodline. Again, this is a really, really unique eyeshadow. I feel like the undertone of this one is very unique, same as the shift, especially on this base. So it has this kind of warm purpley kind of base. It's such a unique one, like I said. And then straight on it has like a gold shift that goes into more of a kind of cool toned blue to purple shift. Somewhat similar to other shades in here where it does have that kind of warm shift straight on. And then it also has a bit more kind of green, turquoise, kind of blue, purple shift. So it goes from that warm to that cool shift. And it's such a pretty one, such a unique one. And this is also a cult favorite for a reason. You can see how much I've used it, and I absolutely adore this eyeshadow. And it's also one that I got in my first launch, and I'm so happy I did because it's such an amazing eyeshadow. And that is the shade Bloodline. Another eyeshadow from that range that I feel like people don't talk about as much, but I absolutely adore equally as much, is this shade right here called Royalty. It is like a really warm purple, like you see that kind of grape purple base, and it's super, super shifty as well. So similar to a lot of other shifts, it has like a warm shift straight on that goes into like a blue and a purple and also a green at certain angles. I fell in love with this one when I wore it out once because I was wearing it on my birthday actually, and then I went to a mini golf place, and in the bathroom I looked at myself and I saw this bright kind of green eyeshadow, and I was like, oh my god, how could that look like green? It's definitely a purple, but it's just such a shifty one. I feel like that's maybe why it's part of the Vibrant Multichrome range, because it has so many like vibrant shifts to it. And yeah, it's such a unique one. I feel like wherever I hold it, I see a different color. It does have, like I said, that kind of warm straight on, but then because it has like a blue to kind of pink shift at certain angles, it looks more like a cool toned kind of purple at certain angles, and then it has that kind of turquoise green shift at other angles. It's just such a beautiful eyeshadow. I absolutely love this one, and I feel very, very pretty every time I wear it. So I have a couple more eyeshadows to go. Next up we have this one here, which is one of their iridescent eyeshadows, and this is from the series 2 iridescence, and that is the shade Luxe. So this is one of the more impactful iridescence that I have. It has a gold shift straight on that goes into like a green, a turquoise, a blue, purple, pink. Super, super shifty, and the base has a little bit more pink to it. So it's a very kind of, like, even though it is an iridescent, it's a very unique base. And if you wear it like on its own over the lid, it has like that kind of slight pink tint to it. But also if you wear it over things, that tint doesn't really show through. So it's a beautiful eyeshadow, and I feel like this is kind of like layered on top of other things. It can make so many unique multichromes, and this is definitely a favorite. I love reaching for this one both on my lids over other things as well as on my inner corners. So we have 2 more shades to go. Next up we have this one here, which is another cult favorite. This is one of their new-ish launches. They launched this one last year, I believe. And that is the shade Mural, which is one of their electric multichromes. This one has like kind of almost turquoisey leaning base. It's like a cool green base that has a really strong orange shift straight on that goes into like a gold. And I think this one is so like such a favorite because it's so versatile. It has like like that base is so electric, hence being part of the electric multichromes. It is almost like, it's like almost minty. It's such a unique one, and then matched with that orange kind of base is such a unique eyeshadow. I really love this one, again, because it's so versatile. You can pair it on top of other things. You can pair it with greens, you can, to make it look more green. You can pair it with oranges. You can pair it with so many different things, and you can wear it more sheerly, more opaque, and it's just such a unique eyeshadow. Yeah, I haven't used this one too much. I'm still playing around with it, but every time I wear this one, I just absolutely love my look. So that is Mural. Then the last eyeshadow I have to talk about is another one of their kind of newer launches, and this is one of their dimensional multichromes, and this is the shade Feric, which looks like this. So if you're aware of like Forge, this is a very kind of similar shifting shade. It has that kind of warm kind of, I don't know, pinkish kind of shift straight on that goes into a green, to a blue, and then like a turquoise. It has so many shifts to it. It also has like a bit of gold to it in certain angles. It's very shifty, but this one is very sparkly, very textured, hence the dimensional name. And it's just such a pretty one. With the sparkles, they contrast so nicely to the base. So even though it has all those shifts, it's very shifty just in the kind of base itself. But the sparkles just contrast so nicely. They just make this eyeshadow look so mesmerizing. You can wear it as like a topper shade if you just want those sparkles to show. You can wear it all over the lid. You can build it up. You can make a smoky eye out of it. More of an everyday look. It's just such a versatile eyeshadow, and I absolutely adore this one. Again, it's relatively new to me. So again, I haven't worn it too many times, but every time I do, I absolutely love this one. So those, you guys, were my top 10 Clionadh eyeshadows. Again, this list will definitely change with time, but right now these are my top favorites. There's definitely a few that I was really sad to leave out. The first one that comes to mind is Blaze, because I absolutely love the shade Blaze. It's just such beautiful kind of like pink to orange to gold shifting everyday shadow. I love that one so much, but I had to leave it out because I prefer these more. So that is it for today, guys. Let me know what your favorite Clionadh eyeshadow is down below if you have tried some. And otherwise, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.